the session. Day 5, day 6, I am assuming. Yeah. So, first of all, everyone can see my screen, correct?
Okay.
Okay. So, a quick question. So, till yesterday session, there is any doubt? We have learned the SQL basics things, the aggregation function, the particular sorting operator, concatenation. Overall SQL, the basic stuffs when you are just going to have an interview or any work thing, or you are already working in a particular company. So those basic things, if you're already working, I think you are already aware. But just this kind of thing should be brushing up your language, programming language. And if you are new, you are new learner for the SQL, and this is very much important what we have learned in yesterday's session. But if there is any doubt, you can quickly ask me. If not, then we can quickly start the session for today. Okay, hope it was fine for everyone. So I'm just covering the rest of the part of the SQL. The select query, that is the DQL. So first of all, the first thing should be coming as a subquery. Okay, let me just minimize the thing. Subquery. Let me maximize this thing a bit. And definitely we'll be going to have some hands-on experience on top of this MySQL workbench. Let me open that. Remove that stuff. Okay. So till yesterday, we are working with the particular table student. Okay, let me just quickly search what data is there with the select query. Select star from student. So this is the overall data in the student table. We have class, roll number, first name, last name, and marks over there. So we have collected three classes, standard 3, 4, and 5. Some roll numbers are there. According to roll numbers, we have first name and last name and the marks. So on top of that particular data set, we have done some operation yesterday, just like filtering the data based on several kinds of filter condition. And we checked with column level filter, column limitation, which columns we need to see in the data set. We can limit the same thing. We can do the aggregation part. We have the string operator, just like full name creation on top of concatenation. On top of first name and last name, we used concatenation operator and we join them. Concat them, not join. So this kind of stuffs we have covered. It's very basic. Today we can just go ahead with some basic concepts on subquery. Subquery is a bit not complex actually. It's very simple as well, but it's a bit different from what we have learned yesterday. Then we will be having some shortcut of creating table from another table. At the first chapter, first day of SQL, you can see, we can create the table just like conventional DDL statement. Okay, just like create table name with all the columns. But here we can quickly create a table from another table, maybe with data, maybe without data, only the table structure. This kind of stuff we can learn quickly. And that is mainly used for backup. Suppose you are deploying anything in production or you are changing anything in production. So for that thing, you need to take a quick backup of production table, because anything, if there is anything happen to your production table, and I mean, just you need to quickly revert it back, because of, I mean, without business disruption, you need to go ahead with that stuff. So that is why this kind of backup stuffs and backupping of that tables can be done by this kind of commands. Okay. After that, there are set operators, just like conventional set theory, union, all. I mean, there may be two data set. We can union the data, intersect the data. We can check the data. What's kind of data we can see. I mean, those kind of operation we can do by this keyword. Okay. And the most important part is joins. So joins, I mean, we can joins between two or more tables. Okay. Between them, and those are several joining condition. First of all, I'll be helping you to understand what is join, and with some Excel, I'll be showing you how the joining is, I mean, going on over there. And after that, I mean, that is the, I mean, everything for today. But the join is very much important. For if you are a new joinee to the in any company, then they will be definitely going to ask you about the join. Maybe they will give you the scenario and they will tell you. So if you are joining between these two table, so what should be the result of the third table? I mean, after the joining, what should be the table? Okay. So these kind of questions they may definitely ask you. So this is very much important, and for business perspective as well, the join is the most important part over here. Okay. So let's get started with the subquery. Okay, subquery. What is subquery? So here I just put the query, select start from student. Okay. So uh, suppose we want to see the filter, I can filter on top of. Okay. So my criteria, this can be my criteria. Who is the who get the most marks in class 3? Okay. So here the data set is very low. We can quickly check who got the first. I mean, okay. Let me just order by class, because there is a 3 over there. Okay. Order by class, and then I can order by mark as well. Okay. Class 3 on top of marks, I can see 245. Here Ronak Som, he got the first position in class 3, standard 3. So this kind of operation we can do with the subquery part as well. Here we are sorting the thing, and by manipulating the data over here, we can check it. But if the data set is very big, this is not a easier way to check by this way. It should be fine, but this should be taking much more time. So there is a concept of subquery as well. Let me show you how we can see it. So we can filter the data where, okay, we can also check by this way where mark. Now I know the mark. What is the greatest mark? Okay, 245. Okay, so I can see Ronak sum, but I checked it earlier. The mark I checked it earlier in the data set itself. That's why I can able to put it. So in place of that part, especially this part, I can code. I can put the subquery. Let me remove 245. Let me pick this number 245 from a subquery. Let me type the subquery over here. Select max mark from student. Okay, we need to check class 3, correct? Where class equal 3. First of all, let me run only this part of query. This is just select max. This is an aggregation function. So we are doing a filter on class 3. So it will be returning the maximum marks of class 3. Okay, I got the number 245. Now in this filter, we are passing the output of this SQL query. Okay, so this is called subquery. Okay, if I run this thing, let me pass only name, student first name. What is called first name? So it will be giving me the correct output, Ronak. Okay, so that supposes my requirement. So the subquery, I mean, it's a bit tough. I mean, not exactly tough. I mean, when you will be doing complex query, that should be bigger in size and all. But the concept is same. You can do also the operator kind of stuffs over here as well. Where student class, and let me just put it. Let me put the same thing. Greater than, let me put min. So I'll be neglecting the lower one.
Okay.
Okay. The lower one I am checking from lower one who has got the class 3 marks, and from greater than that marks I can display the thing over here. Is there any doubt till now to understand the subquery? Hopefully it's fine. It's very simple. So just what we are doing, we are creating this kind of conditional thing. I mean, putting the where clauses. Generally, we put the integers or any kind of data value over here. Instead of doing that, if the value is not known to us, let's SQL pick up that value for ourselves. So that's why we can use subquery, another part of query. Another part of query should be input parameter to the another query. So that the first query is called the subquery. Okay. So this is very much important when you are going ahead with any kind of business solution and all. So just, I mean, check from the same thing at your side, and quick hands-on you can also do at your side too. Okay. So now the next topic is create table from another table. Okay. So that's I was mentioning earlier. So when we are creating the student, so how we are writing the code, if you can remember. So here it was, I mean, the code was this create statement. So this kind of code we run at the editor, then the student table has been created properly with those column name. Okay. But if we want to create the same kind of table with the same column, same property, then no need to write this code, no need to write this DDL command again. We can create in this way. Suppose we will be creating a new table, or we will be creating a backup table of student. Create table name, that is called student. I mean, that should be the new table. Okay. I'm just putting backup BKP. As should be a keyword, select star from student. Sorry. So what we are doing, create table name, that should be the new table name, and we are selecting the old table. So pointing to this table, it will be creating the new table with data. By default, it will be, I mean, the table should be creating, the backup table should be created with all the data of the old table, the existing table. Okay, let me quickly run it. The table has been created. Let me refresh it. Yeah, student backup has been created. Let me quickly, let's start from this. Okay, so it's the same data what the student table is having. Now anyone wants just to create another table, but not only, I mean, not the data, just they want to copy the table structure. So how to do that thing? Okay, let me create another table by copying the same thing. Student backup or backup one. I'm just putting the extra from here. We need to put a condition. I mean, just Boolean criteria where one equals zero. So this is a false condition. One equals zero. So if I just going to run it, sorry. So it has been created successfully. I can, yeah, refresh it, but no data should be created there. Okay, only the table structure has been copied. But if I just, let me drop the table again. I drop the table. I'm just putting a true condition. I can omit this thing. By default, it will be creating with the data. By default, this kind of statement to create the table with the data. So we can control the same thing by the where condition with the Boolean criteria over here. So one equals one means it's a true. True means it should be copied with the data itself. Okay, so it should be same as just like the previous example, this one. Let me run it. Let me check the data again. My caps lock is okay. SQL is case, it's not a case sensitive one, so caps lock or it should not be affecting. Okay, now, yeah, I have put where one equals one, that is a Boolean true filter condition, and by default, it's taking, I mean, not by default, it should be taking the data, and this over here as well, it's taking the data. So the concept is clear for everyone, how we can create a quick backup table. This shortcut method, not creating the entire DDS statement again. Okay, not pushing the DMLs again. So this is very much helpful. Okay, let me keep those table. Mm, student backup. How many tables are there? Okay, backup one, backup table is there. So that should be useful for set operator. Let me check what is the next topic. Till now, any doubt? If you can quickly ask me if there is any doubt. Okay, hope no. The next topic is set operator. Okay, so set. So for set, I mean, I think we all have gone through the set theory, union, intersection, minus, just like De Morgan's law and all. So it's just like the Venn diagram. If we are just comparing between two veins, I mean two particular cells, we can check the union means the total stuffs for contributing sets, two contributing sets. Just like the same thing we can do with the two data sets as well. Okay. So let me create two data sets. Okay, one data set is already created, student backup, which is having the same record as student, and the same thing is backup one as well. Let me remove some column from backup one by running the delete statement only. Delete from this table where, let me put the class equal 3. I'm removing class three's record there. Okay, it's deleted. I'm just going ahead with the select start from this. Backup one, sorry. Yeah, only class 4 and 5 record are there. So let me go ahead with the set theory example with student backup and student backup one table. Please tell me if you are stuck in any kind of scenario. If I mean, while we are learning, maybe sometimes I'm getting faster or maybe I'm getting slower. Then quickly ask me what is the issue or anything you are not able to understand or any more extra clarification. Even the thing is, I mean, maybe I am not aware of the stuffs as well, so we can quickly discuss the topic ourselves or we can check it. from home. I mean, in the next I can clarify you as well. But make it interactive. If there is any doubt or anything, just stop me there and ask me the questions. Okay. So I'll be performing the set theory operations, those operations on top of these two tables. Union, union, all, intersection on top, I mean on these two tables. So student backup table is having four records. I mean all the three classes records, and student backup one should be having only two classes of records. Let me do an union all. So how to do that thing? Let me put select star from this. In between, you need to put union all. There's a difference between union all and union. So I'll be coming to this point. Okay, so this is the command. We are selecting from this table and selecting from this table. In between, we are putting this clause. I'm running the entire setup query. So this is the data set. So it's coming from the first one is coming from the first one backup table, and the second one is coming the second table. What it's doing, it's just merging the entire data set. Okay, I mean the data set, then merging the entire data set from the second table, and it's showing the output. But over here we can see the duplication part is there because class 4 and 5's results are already there I mean the second data set. It's already pushing the first. They are not checking anything whether it's duplicate or not. They are pushing entire data sets from the first table, and after that they're simply merging. They're taking another sets of records and they're pushing it over there. Okay, so here it's a difference. Here the difference is between union and union all. Union, it will be checking what are the distinct records. Let me put the union only, not union all. So while doing the union, it will be checking the common records, that class 4 and class 5 is the common record. So it will be reflecting only once. Let me just run it. Okay. So we have class 3, class 4 and class 5 because union is having the capability, just like original union when we are doing that steps from our, from our system. I mean, from the set theory and all. Okay. Okay. So we can have the difference over here, I think. Mm. Let me put the intersect. Okay. Intersect means the common one, common between two data set. So 4 and 5 classes are common between these two data sets. That's why it's showing us the common records. So if you are, just you need to put the correct keyword. I think you are already aware what the particular, what is intersection, what is union. So just like you just need to put the proper keyword there and it should be throwing you the proper output. So the scenario may comes in your business perspective when you are solving any scenarios or you are doing some data analysis. So this kind of keyword you might be required to compare between two data sets or just like this. So that is useful at that time. But just to let you know, or just this is a common thing to learn over here. Okay. Now today's last section is joins, which is the most important parts. The SQL query. Join means between two table we can set up a relation and we can take data. We can combine between two tables, not in this way. Okay. Okay. Here is a main issue we can show. Just like uh, both of the data set should be having same column name as well as same column numbers. Okay. Otherwise, the union kind of stuffs will be having issue because if we are only having class and roll number. from the first table, and we are fetching all the records from the second table. I mean, all the columns from the second table. And if we are intersecting it or union it, anything, any set operator, then it will be throwing us error because different number of columns available between two data sets. So for the set kind of operator, set kind of thing, just like union, intersection and all, we might have to avoid that between two data set, the column number is same. Okay, otherwise that thing should not be occurring. Now let me put the same thing, class number and roll number over here. Let me just remove the log. I'm running the thing again. There will be no issue. Okay. So we need to maintain it properly. I mean, while doing the union kind of stuffs, we need to check whether we are using same number of columns between two data sets. Okay. So I'm removing that stuffs. Now I'm going ahead with the joining part. So I have an Excels for day 5. Let me just quickly understand the logic of the joining. Okay. This is not the data as of now. We remove it. Okay. I took two particular tables over here. Okay. Let me just quickly learn the thing and we can implement the same thing in our SQL, I mean, MySQL database over there. So I took the database, two data set. One is called employee one table, another one is called employee two table. The first table is having employee ID and employee age, these two columns. And the second table is employee ID and designation. These two column we are having. Okay. So this kind of scenario we talked in last week session. Then I mean when we will be having normalized table, the tables which are normalization is nature in nature, then we should be having multiple tables. But at the end we need the record for a particular maybe particular salesperson. I need the entire records. Then we need to join between different tables and we need to fetch the records because we are keeping the data between multiple tables when we are normalizing the data for the sake of table space uses or I mean that data storage as well. The efficient use of data storage we can say or fetching the records from the memory system. We are normalizing that stuff. So by joining the thing, we can require, suppose employee one, employee ID one, I need to pick the designation. So I need the designation as well as employee age at my output. Okay. So I need to join between these two tables. While doing the joining, we just need a particular common column on top of which will be joined. So over here in these two table, employee ID is the common column. Okay. On top of these two, I mean, these two columns, we can quickly join and we can fetch the record of this table in this third table, the resultant table. Okay. Now there are various kind of join that is called inner join, left join, right join, cross join. There is self join as well. Self join means, as I mean, I'm joining between the same table. I mean, I'm joining between the same table. I mean, just like this table, I'm joining again with this table again. Okay. So joining with this table again. So this is the concept of self join, but this is required sometimes while creating some kind of degenerate dimension or just like this. I'll be coming this thing later at the end of the course when we will be understanding what is dimensions and facts, everything while creating the data mart, data warehouse and all. So as of now, we are learning the join. So just just trying to focus on only the joining part. So first of all, I'm going on with inner join. So when we are joining between two data set with a common column, suppose employee ID, it will be checking only the common rows. Okay. So inner join, we are, I mean, there we can see number 3, I mean, employee ID 3 is not available over here. So it will be checking the common employee IDs available, that is 1 and 2. So at the resultant, it will be throwing us the data of 1, 2. employee age from this table and designation from this table. Okay. If we are going ahead with the left join, left, we can also say it left outer join, right outer join. Okay. So left outer join, what it should be doing? It should be taking the reference at the left table first. Okay. Taking into the left table, it will be putting all the employee IDs there. And it will be searching for this employee ID over here. Which thing it will be getting it? It should be fetching at the resultant. And the one it will be not receiving, it should be passing null. So this is the output of left join. Okay. Okay, let me discard this. I just gave an example. That's why I created that. Okay, right join. Right join means the same thing of what we are understanding at the left side. So we have the right table should be the reference one. So it will be searching for 1 and 2. Okay, 1, 2 is present over here and it will be picking only these two records. No 3 records should be there. Okay. And there is another one is cross join. I'll be coming to this later. Let me just having a quick code related stuffs. I mean, how we can coding for understanding the join. So let me open that two thing. That thing over here. So till now, any conceptual issue from any one of you to understand the joining part? Okay, hopefully no. So I created these two table, employee one and employee two, with the same data. Okay, just let me show you. Select star from employee one. So it's having employee ID and employee age. Let me delete that stuff. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to push the record for employee two. Let me quickly push it. I need just few seconds. Employee two, employee one is having record just like 1, 2, 3. I'm assuming, yeah. Employee two, I'll be pushing these two records. Fine. Just like insert into EMP2 values. First record is what I have put 1, comma, data scientist. It has been done to senior manager. Okay, I ran this table. Let me check it. Yeah, the data is there. Let me quickly comment it. Okay. Let me just take the record. Yeah. So employee two table we are having employee ID 1 and 2 with the designation. And in employee one, we are having only employee ID and their age. Okay. Let me join. Let me having the inner join. What we are learning there in Excel sheet. Let me just go ahead with the same hands-on over here. So we need to pick which kind of particular columns we required. Okay. That we need to pull it over here. Employee ID. I want to check employee age. I need to check as well as designation. I need to check. Okay. So now I need to put the joining clause from table name. The first table name I'm putting the employee one there, EMP1. Okay. Then I need to put join or inner join. If I just put simple join, it should be doing ahead the inner join part only. By default, join keyword should be working as the inner join. let me put inner join. The second table name employee 2. Okay. On keyword should be there. On top of which column I'll be joining, I need to put the thing. So I need to put the first table, it's employee ID. First table name dot the column equal second table name dot the matching column name. That is the same employee ID. Employee ID is the matched column between two data set. So what we are doing over here, just let me show you quickly. So I'm just joining employee ID. So I'm equating these two and I'm just look up the value of designation and pushing into a resultant set. Just I'm comparing between this column and taking designation into here. So this is the concept. This is a joining concept. Employee ID is a common column between two tables. I mean, the two tables I'm just segregating in this way. This is the first table column, second table column. Inner join is the clause, the first table and second table. Okay. Now, which particular columns we want to check? Employee ID we can check from first table or second table, but we need to mention which table I want to check. So that's why I'm taking first one as a reference. Employee one dot employee ID. Employee age is obviously in first table only. That is why I'm putting employee emp1 dot the designation as well. I'm taking. Sorry, it's employee two table designation. Okay. Now our query is ready. So what we are doing exactly, let me quickly show you once more time. We are selecting the resultant data sets column name. Okay. Just like employee ID, employee age, and their designation. From the two tables. Okay. Which kind of join we are performing, that should be in between that employee 1 and employee 2. And here it's the joining condition. I mean, on top of which column, which common column we are joining, that should be put under at the end. So let me run the thing. Okay, the output is here. Now let me do this. I mean, this is the same steps. Let me just run it. Left join. I'm updating it left join. Left join, it should be through, I mean, as we are taking employee 1 ID, it should be giving 3 because I mean, employee ID 3, there is no designation at the employee 2 table. That's why it's showing us the null value over here. Okay. If we are just putting the right join over here, it should be the same as inner join because right table is having less data compared to the first one. It's a subset one, we can say. Okay. It's the subset one. That's why there is no such null value for employee age. Okay. Any doubt till now? The thing is a bit conceptual, but if you can understand it quickly, then there'll be no issue. Okay, the one that I want to, I mean, highlight earlier session, there's like if I can put another employee ID 4 for the right join perspective, that should be understandable. If I put 4 over here, or just like data analyst, this kind of row, if I just add it over here, so what should be the change? Inner joins, no change should be there because common rows are there only 1, 2. Left join, there will be no change 1, 2, 3. It should be taking reference. It will be checking 1, 2, 3. It will be only getting 1, 2. So this should be the output. But in right join, we will be taking reference from the right table itself. There we can get employee ID 4 over here. Employee age should be null because there is no such employee age. Then it should be null. Then over here, the data analyst should be present. Okay, so that should be the modified output of right join if we have the data analyst over here. Okay, let me just update this thing. Okay, and okay, what is cross join now? Cross join means, I mean, it's a simple one particular records. For one of the records, it should be having those many records. Each of the records having three combination. I mean, at first two combination was there. Let me quickly show you. For cross join, no such condition is required. Put over here. You can remove this thing because cross join, it will not be checking for any kind of condition. Simply, it will be doing the cross join. Means one single record from each table will be multiplied number of records. So this is the first record, 145, and senior manager and data scientist should be there for each of the iteration. Okay, just to repeat me once more time. Okay, at first data analyst was not there. Let me delete it first. So I'm joining between these two. So for each of the record of the first table, okay, there should be two repetition. Just like one, I just put 145, 145. Data scientist, senior manager. Again, 145, 145. Okay, analyst we take it earlier. Okay, fine. So each of the record of the first table, all the records should be repeated. Just like we are doing a multiplication between multiple sets. So this kind of cross join should be, it's required sometimes, but most of the cases it is not required. But people mistakenly do the cross joins. Then we can find the data has been increased drastically in the final data set. So sometimes we need to, I mean, check whether we are doing cross joins or not. So we need to aware of that stuffs while doing the programming stuffs in particular business solutions or any other places. But it is also useful for some scenarios. But we need to check or verify the scenarios earlier, and we need to take the decision. Okay. So this is called cross join, and we can just go ahead with that steps. So till now, do you have any doubt? Did we learn the joins properly? Because this is very much important. If you were stuck in any point of understanding or anything, you can quickly stop me and ask me. No need to worry on that stuffs. Okay, hopefully no. Yeah, tell me.
What's the use of cross join? Why do we do cross join?
Yeah, cross join. Suppose, I mean, actually, for business perspective, we should not require that stuffs. But suppose there may be some scenarios. We are doing, I mean, permutation and combination. We need to check all the combinations between those stuffs. If such kind of scenarios appear, then we can go ahead with that stuff. Okay. So it's totally dependent on the business, what kind of business output we require. So generally, cross join we did not require. We for the kind of, if you, I think you have already gone through the first session, just like normalization of the table. We already
Mm,
have the data at the data set at the beginning. Then we are splitting the records. Okay.
yeah.
Between multiple tables for checking. I mean, it's a good way to maintain the records or tables. And I mean, if you are working as a data, I mean, it at the higher position, so you need to spin up some databases as well. So you need to check the cost that time as well. Otherwise, your company sponsor will say your database is growing. I mean, daily basis going larger and larger. Do something. Then, I mean, you have to just normalize the thing. You need to check whether the tables are properly normalized or not. Even while doing the query, while you are fetching the query from millions of records of table, then you can check it's taking the select query is taking 100, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes time. It will be throwing the output. So that time you need to normalize the thing. You need to split the records multiple tables, then you need to join them, join between them. So that is why we are joining actually. But And from your questions, cross joins is not required. I mean, directly most of the cases, but it is also requiring just like to check if we need all the combinations from one particular table. We need to check all the combinations of the next one or any such kind of stuffs. If this is a scenarios in a business, practical scenarios or any kind of thing, then we may have required that stuffs. Just it we are crossing the entire stuffs of two data set. That's the cross join. Okay.
If in a set of returns for union, intersect, union all, we need to the whatever we are taking the tables, it should have same number of columns, right?
Correct. Same number of columns.
And also it should also have the same columns.
No, it will not be checking the same column, but for checking of us, maybe let me give you an example. The table is already there. Employee. Okay, student backup and backup one. I was giving example on that one, correct? Yeah. Select. Okay. What are the column name? It should not be requiring. The operation should be fine, but there should be valueless operation. Let me take class roll number from student. Union. Okay, student backup. Let me put first name. Okay, class and first name. Let me check what is the issue. Yeah. So that can be done. There will be no issue on the operation. Okay, as the number of columns are same, but it's valueless. No one will checking in this way because roll number, it will be taking this thing as a reference, the column name. And at the roll number side, the second data set, we are getting the first step. So the data is meaningless. So if the business or anyone is checking data, or we are giving output to another data set, so it is a meaningless. It will not be, I mean, working properly. I mean, there will be valueless things. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
But the operation will be, there will be no issue with the operation. It will not be throwing the error. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Why it's fetching first name to the roll number?
Sorry, didn't get you. Give me
It
one
should
second.
throw an error, right? It should throw an error because first name is not the roll number. It is fetching like the first name in the student backup. It's throwing in the roll number.
Yeah, just like it will be taking the roll number. I mean, the column name should be taking from the first data set, class and roll number. Okay.
Okay.
First data
Okay.
set, it's taking the column name
Mm-hmm.
and it's pulling all the records from this one. Okay. And from the second data set, it's taking the data set, but not column name. It's just
Mm-hmm.
checking the number of columns are two or not. Number of columns are two, then it's merging the data thing. I mean, the merging the data set. Okay. It
If
will
it is
not be checking which
okay,
whether it's having roll number or not. That particular intelligence it is not having.
okay, if regardless of the data type, right?
Yeah, but the resultant set, this thing is not been stored in any places. If I'm just going to create a table on top of this set, just like create table, or I'm going to insert the table in any particular thing. We are just visualizing the thing by the select operator. We are not pushing the thing in anywhere.
Okay.
Roll number over here, it's not we are pushing the same roll number. It's a visualization part. It's a temporary storage. So the data type issue is not occurring over here. That's why. But if we are just create table name, and we are inserting that kind of records, okay. Just like if I'm just putting as, sorry, I'm just putting as. Oh my god. So this kind of thing can throw error because it's having this or this. So it should be by default having character data type Okay, so roll number, it will be converting to character over here to have a same kind of thing. Let me run it. I have never run it earlier. Okay, the table has been created. So roll number earlier we have created as integer. Table name is a new table. Let me just check. Okay, roll number by default is varchar now. So 1, 2, 3 is over there is a varchar. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
did you get it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 is not an integer anymore. If we just want to search the thing, just like select star from table name. The data is there where roll number equal 1. It should be throwing error. No, it is throwing. But yeah, MySQL server, I told you. In MySQL, something is different. Early, I mean, we should be having in this way. It's an character. We should be checking with double quote. I mean, a single quote. This is the ideal way to check it with the character, but it's not throwing error over here. But we should be writing in this way. But this particular roll number is determined as a varchar. Okay, class is integer because the same data type is there. So that's why the earlier questions we should be having same kind of columns should be used in union. Okay, we should not use various kind of columns while doing the union intersection or any kind of stuffs.
It's clear.
Okay. Yeah, we can do this kind of stuff, I mean, for experiment basis and all for our learning purpose. No issue. And we can also do this thing at our own as well. So you can also tell us this kind of thing. Hopefully, every one of you is having the SQL, MySQL, or any kind of database installed at your side to check this kind of stuff. Are any other questions, Dipti or anyone?
I don't have any ideas of it.
Okay. So let's connect tomorrow. We are having some more stuffs at the SQL side to be covered. Just like something from the DBA perspective, if anyone is working at the DBA side or anything, or some TCL, DCL, the rest of the languages, it's not the select anymore. I think the day after tomorrow, we'll be starting Python. Okay. Okay, then if there is any questions or anything, we can quickly discuss at the tomorrow earlier sessions as well. Okay. So let's drop off today and let's connect tomorrow. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.